Hey guys, welcome back to the RGR Football Channel. My name is Daniel Harms, film analyst here at the RGR Football Channel. Yes, Ryan and I still haven't figured out where that recording is for the intro. So I'm going to work on finding that for you guys so we can get it up here. But it is Tuesday week, the day after the real hangover really starts to subside. On that Monday, there was a lot of stuff thrown around on Twitter, people really being upset. I appreciate you guys joining me last night on the live Q&A. I'm going to be much better at that going into the future, trying to figure all that stuff out. But again, appreciate it. All the support. You guys were great. And you've been so great to me over the course of the last week and a half without Ryan, trying to figure these things out for myself. And again, you can hear that my throat is still not all the way back. So we're working. We're going to make it better. And today we're talking a little bit about adjustments that need to happen, things that are going out of whack for the Chiefs that have not gone that way over the Mahomes era. We're going to start off with the biggest thing that's happening right now that they haven't been able to control. It's turnovers. No, not the delicious things that you eat that are either cherry or apple filled. We're talking about handing the ball to the other team. I went back and did a little research, and in 2018, the Chiefs totally turned the ball over 18 times throughout the whole season. 2019, 15 turnovers, the year they won the Super Bowl. 2020, they went back to the Super Bowl, 16 turnovers. This year, through 5 games, the Chiefs have 11 turnovers. You can't win games. You can't go back to the playoffs, much less the Super Bowl, by turning the ball over that much. They have 2 games this year with 4 turnovers. Okay? 4 in 2 games. They've lost both of those games this year, and both have come to young, up-and-coming quarterback on the opposite side. You can't be giving them the ball. Josh Allen was given 4 turnovers in this game, and Justin Herbert was given 4 turnovers in that game. Now, there were only 3 other games in the Mahomes era that have had 3 or more turnovers in them. They were 2-1 in those games. If you guys remember the Miami game where they had 5 turnovers. No, excuse me, they had 3 turnovers in that game. They had 5 turnovers in the Rams game that they were, 54-51 in 2018. They've had one other game where they had 4 turnovers. You cannot have these compounding issues with the defense, even with the offense at times, and continue to turn the football over. Now, I know that 2 of the interceptions last night or on Sunday night came from deflections. You just can't have it. That's a mental error on the players too. Like Tyreek Hill should have caught that pass that went for a pick six. You have to catch it. And then the other one was deflected by somebody else and ended up in the hands of the Bills. Like these kind of things cannot happen. Actually, it was Gregory Rousseau that tapped it up. He knows that Mahomes wants to get the ball out quick, so he just throws his hand up. Got lucky, bounced right up, and then he caught it for another interception. Like they're little things that teams are kind of keying on, specifically that type of RPO throw out to the flat. Just get your hand up, something good will happen. And then, the unlucky Tyreek Hill not catching the ball. You got to find a way to stop giving the ball back to the other team. This is the biggest issue that's compounding all of the other issues. Yes, I know that the defense has been very, very bad, but through 5 games, you have 11 turnovers when your defense is generating 2 on the year, 2 or 3 on the year. I don't count the last one against the Browns because they ended up, it wasn't like it kind of won them the game. So that one's just a little bit different. They had already had the lead. These are when you're down. You're just turning the ball over too much and you're not getting the ball back. And they lost the game where they had 2 interceptions against Lamar Jackson because they turned the ball over a couple more times in key situations. They have to find a way to stop the mental errors that they're continuously having. Byron Pringle, the last 2 weeks, has had a fumble on kick returns. That can't happen. Don't return it then. Like you get to the 25 no matter what. Stop returning the ball. Okay. I know sometimes when you're up there, you're going to have no choice. Fine. Stop trying to make everything happen. These games right now with the way teams are playing are not going to be won by getting those big plays because they're not going to let them happen very often. Protect the football. It's as simple as that. That's one of the biggest things that has to happen going forward for them to win games. You have to stop the turnovers and you have to start generating turnovers or you're just not getting anywhere. Like this is just, it's going to be it's the biggest problem that I'm seeing in these losses. I think we all know that against the Ravens, turnovers in key positions hurt them. They could have won that game. They didn't. Chargers, 4 turnovers, almost won that game. Didn't. This game, they didn't almost win it. They didn't. But 4 turnovers in couple in driving situations. Another one on a kick return after the Bills just score, you give them the ball back, even though they didn't get points on the board. You're just still giving less time to your offense. It has to stop. The turnovers are such a bad thing, and you have to mentally check yourself in these games. And right now, it feels like the Chiefs don't have that fight, the hunger that these other teams have to beat them. They have to match the intensity level, and I don't see it at all on defense. I don't see it on offense. There's no emotion. There's not much. They come out of the tunnel hyped up. Yeah, I get it. I don't see much happening on defense hyped up outside of, Ty Matthew putting his hands up because he doesn't know what's going on with guys in the back end, not understanding their responsibilities. Another thing, I think we're going to see more blitzing from Steve Spagnuolo coming up. Getting Willie Gay on the field is going to help a little bit everywhere. That's just what it is. He's a very instinctual, athletic player. That's going to help every level of the defense. Playing less Dan Sorensen, less Ben Neiman, and more athletic playmakers in Willie Gay and Juan Thornhill, possibly even Amani Watts. I'm sick and tired of seeing Dan Sorensen out there. He's not adding anything to this defense outside of missed tackles and big plays given up. I'm done. So yeah, got a little bit of a rant there. You guys know me. I like to rant a little bit when I get to some time too. So as much as we were talking about some changes here, I do think you're going to see them be more apt to change things when something's not working. They have to. Things have to start changing or heads are going to roll. Okay? Basic, simple. 2-3, you have to beat the Washington football team coming up. And you want to know something? Taylor Heineke might not be Josh Allen, but he can run the ball. You come out and dime, he's going to run the ball because they've seen everybody do it. Jalen Hurts didn't really do all that much, but he did a good job. Josh Allen abused the dime situations. Lamar Jackson abused everything because he's just that good of a runner. Taylor Heineke can run the ball. He's an athlete. He can run it. If they do not find a way to stop the quarterbacks running the football and stop this insane ability to quickly switch out to their dime because, yeah, they got to get 3 safeties on the field at all times. Dan Sorensen's not doing it. He's not going to do it. He's never been doing it in the last 3 years. Sorry, guys. He's hurting the team. Don't want to see him playing anymore. They have to find a way to get Watts on the field, some of the younger safeties. Things have to change in order to initiate defensive positivity and get some younger, hungrier players in there. Dan Sorensen's not hungry, guys. He's not. He's been playing at a pretty decent level for the last 10 years, 10 plus years, probably. Now it's gone. The play level's gone. You need to generate younger, more athletic, and faster players in there. I don't care so much if they end up giving up some big plays, as long as they do it actually trying and being, fast and athletic. Okay. Simple as that. I have an issue when the guy who's supposed to know where he is on the field at all times is making just continuously in the wrong spot and not understanding his responsibilities. So third year in this defense, get it done. Figure it out. You're an NFL player and you're not figuring it out. So I'm done. On the offensive side, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be out a little while. They're going to have to bring up Derek Gore. I do think that they're going to get Jerick McKinnon involved. They have to. They have to find a way to generate some positive movement with the running backs. Now, Clyde's not has never been a burner ever. He's never been able to get to the edge and just kind of beat linebackers to the edge. That's not his game. Jarrett can do that, but they're also just not involving the running backs in the passing game, which matriculates into the fact that Patrick Mahomes does not look to the check down very often. He did later in that game because they finally figured out we got to get the ball into the flat areas and let him work. And in order to do that, they have to continuously make it an effort to target Tyreek Hill and target McCole Hardman in those areas, open up some of the intermediate parts, draw those safeties down. They're probably never going to come down. So you have to find a way to continuously matriculate the ball down the field. And the way that they have to do it, they have to run the ball better. They got to get push up front. They didn't get much push at all against the Bills. They were abused by that defensive front. They have to find ways to scheme players open on the shorter intermediate parts of the field. Not necessarily, the deep intermediate parts, because safeties are working that. You got to get some of those shorter, shallower crossers and the pick plays lined up. Multiple times, Patrick just went away from the pick plays on one side. When Travis Kelce's running across the middle and he can get in those running lanes, you can get the running backs out of the backfield on a little wheel route or a leaker to get upfield for 5, 10, 15 yards. That's something they can do more of. They have to be able to adjust earlier in games on both sides of the football, or they're going to continue to find themselves down in every single game that they play. So just adjustments that we're probably going to see going forward. Again, there's still 12 games left of the season. Like, there's a lot of football left to be played. So let's look from a little bit of a positive spectrum. Yes, I think Willie Gay is going to help the defense. Okay. I think overall he's going to make a positive impact on playmaking. He's going to make more plays at the linebacker position than any of the other guys did. I think that helps unlock Bolton a little bit to come downhill more, because you have a linebacker that can get out there and cover what Bolton can't. So that's a net positive. Okay. I also believe that getting Jerick McKinnon more involved on the offense will be a benefit to Clyde when he comes back. They have to be able to utilize the speed at the position, because as much as I love Clyde the player, what he brings, he doesn't bring speed. Never has. And right now, it looks like he's thinking too much, and that's taking away from the burst that he has. He can't get through those holes. He looks like he's trying to think too much. So he's in his head a little bit. I think the 2 games that he had where the offensive line was moving people, ideally what you want, he can use his burst. You saw it a bit more in both of those games where they were moving people a bit and letting him get out and make people miss. He was like top 3 in forced missed tackles in the last 2 weeks before the Bills game. That's what he does when he can get upfield quickly and make it work. So they have to do a better job of making a complementary backfield, not necessarily taking Clyde and cutting his touches in half, but getting Jerick a little bit more involved as the change of pace back. Daryl's fine, but Jerick is a better change of pace back. Always has been and always will be. He offers speed, something that Daryl doesn't. So I do think they're going to get it all figured out in terms of being more competitive. But this comes down to playing better in the game in terms of not just mentally being there, but having a hunger. We talked about it earlier. They don't have it right now. They don't have a fire. There's no fire under them. Even after they lost to the Ravens and the Chargers, there was no fire lit under them. The defense has to play with a fire. They have to play with an edge. They have to play with a chip on their shoulder. And right now, the only one doing that is Tyrann Mathieu, because he has to cover for everybody. He has to cover for Dan Sorensen, and he's PO'd because he's constantly turning around, seeing a ball get launched over his head to a safety that can't play in the NFL. That's the last thing that I'm going to say about him for now. I'll probably come back to it later. But that's what I think is going to happen going forward. So what I want from you, everybody who watched this, give me one thing that you're positive about going into week 6 against the Washington football team. It can be anything, but we need to generate a little bit of positivity with some of the negativity that's been strung around. I do think that there are some things that happened in the game against the Bills to look forward to going forward with this Chiefs team specifically. So I want to see some positivity from the fans. And if you don't have anything positive to say, just kind of give me something lukewarm. Doesn't have to necessarily be super positive, but something you're looking forward to against the Washington football team. Hopefully they come out playing with fire, with an edge, and they can get back to really playing and having fun, because it doesn't look like they're having any fun at all, even when they're winning. So again, thank you guys so much. This is going to be, hopefully we get the film for Wednesday. We're crossing our fingers. We're going to do another live film review if I get it. So again, appreciate you guys' support, and have